everybody, Average Gamer here, and welcome to the next video in the Galactic Ruler tutorial series brought to you by BattleGoat Studios and the makers of Galactic Ruler. So today what we're going to do is we're just going to go quickly over, going clockwise, all the different little UI textures and things like that. So we're going to start from the middle and then work our way around. So the first thing we're going to look at is this little icon, these little icons here. This is currently us, the Earthers, and this is currently the Pirates. These are the current factions in this solar system. So kind of giving us a little heads up. We can also, I think we can right click on here and it'll, or double click, sorry, and it will take us right to their system. So or their planet. Click over there. Boom, there we go. Now here are our resources. We have our finished goods, our electricity or our power, our minerals or our ore, and last but not least, our agriculture. These are your four major things that you produce. Obviously, ore from mines, energy from power plants, agriculture from farms and things like that, and then obviously factories produce finished goods. Now, one of the things that will be the driving force to you moving off your main planet and expanding as a civilization is going to be power. There will be a shortfall in production of power on your home planet. You're gonna have to get over it and move on and out and expand and do the whole 4x thing. Then we also have the main menu option to bring up the main menu. While I'm also here, if you hit Control plus Shift and S simultaneously, you can change your settings and a few other things here and there. Here are three types of notifications. You have your blue military alerts, your red economic alerts, and your orangey diplomatic alerts. You also have the ability to clear all your messages and also change your settings for your alerts if you want. Now, also down here in the bottom right, this purple button that's being hidden by my logo, that is bringing up the Almanac. The Almanac just gives you an overall view of different options, military approvals, population, etc., etc., etc. Also being blocked by my little button here is the resource button. That little resource button opens up the supply chain, which shows you where things are going and what they're being used on. So right now we can see from production, we produced 8.67 million tons of agriculture. A little green icon, a little green icon, and that amount went into stock. Of that also, we produced from our stock 3.16 million tons of that agriculture went to our population for food. So you can actually see here the actual supply and demand, basically where things are coming from and where they're going. Later on you'll see it'll say merchant because you traded it off planet and things like that. The next button here is the diplomacy screen. If we had any diplomacy, we'd have some options here. The next one is facilities. So this is actually going to show our current space facilities. So if I go into our planet, this would now change our ground production facility. So our actual defense facilities, our finished goods facilities, our energy facilities, what's producing power for us, what's producing agriculture for us, urban is just urban. That's not really producing us anything, but it shows us all the facilities on the current planet. And then, as I said, in space as well. So right now we have an orbital station, shipyard, and just a general station itself in the center. Next but not least is our unit presence. Right now I have no units deployed on the in orbit. So what I'll do is we'll go to the galaxy, because why not? We'll go to the planet and we'll bring that up. Currently none, but I can bring over some stuff over here, which we'll get into, to deploy said units. Now, we also bring up the map of the current planet. Look around, see if there's anything we like, etc., etc., etc. Next is our filters, so we can see, hey, if there are any enemies or allies on the map. How about the map grid? Let's bring up the map grid. Some people like it, some people don't. Line of sight, you can turn that on or off. I usually have it on. I just like the way it looks. Our units, right now we don't have any, but we'll deploy some in a few moments, and I'll show you what they look like on the map. Defensive terrain, the darker or the more brighter, the better. Ownership, everything we control. There we go. Diplomatic relations we don't, but supply levels, very, very important. I'll bring that up and show you, so you can see the little bits of blue here, because our color is blue. My favorite color is blue. Sorry. Supply is a major thing in the game. You have to make sure you have supply, which we'll get into when it comes to some other stuff down the road. But some stuff to remember, and you can look these things up. In addition, you can bring up the elements, not just our filters. So you look up our overall relationship, where our coastlines are. You can see they kind of change up a little bit. Where our population is based, where our agriculture is, so we can throw in some farms, things like that, to produce food. Where our ore is, we can mine, get our ore, get that ore up, production up. Energy, which you'll notice is very sparse on the planet. Where our high ground is for defense. And close combat locations, where our garrisons are located. Which right now we don't really have any. Battle zones, so there you go. And then nav points, which we don't currently have. Over here on the bottom left is another major tab, or our major tabs. I'm going to go from left to right on these. The first one is your governor. This is basically the AI. You can tell the AI to do a whole bunch of things on your planet that you don't really want to worry about. So you can tell it to spot stuff for you. There's warnings. Auto repair, garrison deployment. The overall priority for diplomacy, military units, military forces, how you want them. Do you want them more defensive or do you want them more aggressive? So they're all strategic controls of the planet. Then we come down to resources. So hey, our output, do we want to go by demand or capacity? Do we want to ration our power or not? Do we want to allow the merchant AI to do trades, etc.? We'll get more in detail and more in depth in this stuff later. Then we have our research tab for obviously researching. Defense tab for all our defensive stuff. Our planetary governor for all the different little things like, hey, what are your priorities versus non-priorities and all that jazz. And then last but not least, just your overall generic planet information. Now, one of the good things is this stuff is all also available right here for you. So we've got our Recon tab. This gives you your idea of generally what's going on around you on, say, for example, a planet. On a tile, we can select a tile and see all the different the building information and things like that. Our barracks currently 100% active. Our finished goods facility here is 100%. Here's a town. It's sitting at 100% with roughly almost 500,000 people. We can set some navigation information, or we can set up a hotspot for the AI to move troops and units into specific locations, where we can set a hotspot and we say what kind of hotspot we want it to. Do we want it to have high priority, medium priority, etc.? And we can set those up, which we'll get into in a different video. Then we have our overall state department, which gives us just generic information on our state. I'll get more into detail on some of the other options, but trade deals, all that stuff show up here. Our populations and all that jazz will show up here. How we're sitting, domestic, military, and diplomatic-wise. Our resource department, it shows us what we're producing, how we're producing it. You know, we can produce, pick more unit stuff to build, blah, blah, blah. Research department, we can pick our research to research. We can pick, look at the research we've already researched, see if we've researched anything that forces any of our troops or units to go into space units, into reserve to get refitted, because some of the techs unlock refits for units. And it's really cool. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show it, just because it's hard to show on, with recording and things like that. But basically, if you research new parts of certain ships, they will actually come out of reserve with that additional little part, like say it's a torpedo or something like that, or not, like a shield upgrade. The shield system will show up. It's really cool. If I can't get better pictures, I'm going to try and get some screenshots. Then we also have our defense department. This is where we actually produce our ground units, so our recon units, our tank, our artillery, etc., etc., etc. And then here is our overall command department. This shows us how many troops we have in reserve, active, what kind of units we have in reserve, blah, 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 blah. And that's just the overall general breakdown of the UI. And I also forgot to mention some stuff up here. So up here, we have the up arrow and the down arrow. That's for increasing speed and decreasing speed, and the pause button. We also have the name of our planet. If we double click up here, it takes us up to the next level, which is the solar system level. Then we also have the name of our planet and some other stuff. We hit the little arrow there and we can go into our galaxy level. We're just gonna click back here. One of the cool things I wanted to mention is the navigation. We can actually see all our inhabited planets just with a simple click. I love it. We can also see that, you know, one of our planets here, or one of the systems that's around our planet, is a barren moon. It's small, it's hostile, and it has no atmosphere. We'll get into the atmospheres and planets and all that stuff later on, but I just wanted to get the basics down and just kind of move around what the UI does and all that stuff. I'm trying to keep these videos down to 10 minutes, so I just want to say thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Could have been watching anything else, but you watched this, so I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.